Okay, so while we're waiting for this to get set up, like uh life is good, right? We
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
honestly, yeah, it's good. It's good.
What's up, everybody? This is Kristen Gutierrez coming at you, and this thing that we're doing right now, this fills my cup so much. So I'm joined by my good friend, birthday twin, right?
Woo woo.
And former client, Leah Owens. I was hired by her old company to consult and coach Leah on being a better salesperson. And so your journey has taken so many amazing twists and turns since I've known you. For those of us who don't know you, and just kind of to give us a little back context, start at like I was an ASL interpreter for, and then kind of just tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So I worked as an ASL interpreter for about 20 years. So I have 2 decades of language experience and very passionate about access and accessibility and just making sure that people have the right information they need so they can make the decisions that they need to make. So that led me to my former company where I was doing some interpreting and then also doing business development, which is where you come in. And I'm so grateful every day that they hired you because it really just kind of opened my world up when it came to sales and when it came to what kind of salesperson I have the potential to be. So I'm eternally grateful, for that opportunity. And it has led me to where I am currently at now, my company, where I just got promoted to the business development manager. So I'm very excited and lots of good things have happened and very grateful to have met you and known you and excited to have this conversation today.
Oh, yes, I know. Man, all the clients I got to consult and continue to coach fill my cup. It really, truly fills my cup to share strategies, tips, best practices, and then see them play out in the touch base calls that we have,
Mhm.
or like analyzing the DMs and just seeing how people start leaning in. Like you, one thing I love to see is like where you are now, both as a human and also where you work. Like
Mhm.
you're getting on video a lot more. You're really like showing all facets of you, right? That make
Mhm.
you who you are, that then adds value back to the company you work for. And I used to call that like a passion project within our role. Now I
Right.
just flat up call that social proof. And I love to see how you show up.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I really do love that about where I'm at now, and I think that's so important whether, you work for yourself or you are an employee that you are able to be you and that you're able to be authentic and share your goals and the things that are important to you. And I'm very grateful that I work for a company that encourages that because, I do love having this crossroads of having been an interpreter for 20 years and working with the deaf community. I value that. And I'm not ever going to stop. I still do some interpreting jobs, in evenings and weekends when possible, because I worked really hard for that certification and I want to maintain that and that connection that I have to that community. So I love, though, now what I do when I'm talking to organizations, being able to say, I've been in the room with the doctor or with the, patient. I've seen what happens and getting to translate that, pun intended, getting to translate that, into this is real. This is something that, I do understand the dynamic. It definitely gives that credibility and that experience and knowledge. And I think that we connect better because I'm able to share those things.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, 100% I do. Having spent 20 years in the language industry, there's other stories I could tell with confidence that I had seen this situation or seen that situation. And I just never in my whole career called on interpretation. It was always its own division within the company that
Mhm.
I never worked in. And so actually working with you and just getting exposed then to smaller language services companies in my consulting days, I learned so much from you from the first time I spoke on stage with an interpreter and I was
Hmm.
nervous and speaking too fast and like
All the
realized
things.
all the things. And I learned about the what are they called? Like nicknames that you
Oh,
that
like sign names?
sign names. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, just the little nuances you taught me
Yep.
about the community. So I can imagine that the clients and prospects you call on feel that from you because
Mhm.
your real world experience, like you said, literally translates to helping them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a privilege and it's a responsibility because I feel like I do have this knowledge and I do have this ability to speak to those things and so I really, take that seriously. But I think again, that's what's so great about when you're in the right role for you, then you really do understand how you can use those experiences and qualities and to your benefit and to connecting and building your audience. And I think about that a lot because, I have little nuggets of, from Kristen that I'm always like playing in my head all the time. And, done is better than perfect. And, like I'm always like telling myself this before I start like a discovery call with a new prospective client. So all the things that, I've been able to learn through the years, um, they've helped build my confidence. They've helped build, my skills in approaching people and closing skills. Because I think that's really important. It's like, great. So I have this experience and I can, speak to them on a level that, maybe some salespersons couldn't. But then how do I close it? Like you still have to have those other business skills in order to, be successful in what you're doing. So yeah, I love opportunities like this when we get to review and kind of analyze and see, what we've done. And hopefully nothing I said previously was too cringy. So I guess we'll get to find out.
Oh, okay, so what we're doing now is so Leah, we recorded this video. It had to have been 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yes, it is. It's insane.
Wild. Like Leah and I ended up talking almost every day. I mean, A, because we were working together, and B, then we just developed a friendship. And first and foremost, I'm so glad that we can just pick up where we left off because it's been a minute,
Same.
you know.
Yeah.
You reached out like a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
then
Just be like, hey, it's been too long. We got to
yeah,
connect.
I love it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, with permission, I'm going to re-release this episode that we recorded. And so it's called Are You Letting Imposter Syndrome Hold You Back from Your Next Level? And so you're about to see me and Leah 3 years ago with Jack, who's sick,
Poor
sitting on
baby.
my lap the entire time of this
This
video.
is literally the epitome, though, of multitasking. This is what we do,
Oh,
especially as working moms. Like this is the epitome of,
I love
having
it.
of being a superwoman right here. You're about to see it with Kristen.
Okay, I also love that we're both wearing pink right now and we're matching back then also.
Oh,
And this is the first time you've ever done something like this. Not this, but like I think when we recorded that, it was like pushing you out of your comfort zone. Is that right?
1,000% yes. That was the thing about being an interpreter is I was so used to other people's ideas and thoughts
Hmm.
and being very neutral. And so I had to really kind of let that go to develop additional, qualities and be able to embrace my own creativity. So I think that this is kind of the beginning of my evolution here.
All right, well, without further ado, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna see all the windows I have open. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to do it so that because I'll like pause it a few times. So you guys,
Mhm.
the video itself, it's only 20 minutes. We're gonna play it now, and as we watch it, Leah and I will pause it and reflect a little on what's happening. And then we'll drop the link in the comments so you can go and watch the rest of the video. Does that work for you, Leah?
Love it.
Okay, let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Hi, Leah.
Hello. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Jack.
I am Kristen Gutierrez, the host for Confident Leadership. This is my co-host for the day, 3-year-old Jack. I am a best-selling author, a keynote speaker, and I love helping individual contributors and leaders lead beyond their role, climb the corporate ladder, and tap into their subject matter expertise and thought leadership. Today, we are here with Leah Owens talking about imposter syndrome. So let's introduce you to our world. Tell us all about you, Leah.
Well, first off, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. It's an honor to be doing this with you. Yes, like you said, I'm Leah Owens, and I am newer to the business side of the language industry. I've worked as a sign language interpreter for about 20 years. So I've been very passionate about access and language. And now that I am with Bromberg, I'm learning more about the business side of everything and doing business development. And with this change, it has also ushered in new feelings and new emotions that I am experiencing. Hence why we are here today to talk about imposter syndrome.
Okay, so far. Okay, you can hear it and everything, right?
Yep.
Okay, what do you think so far? Like just like 2 minutes in, like give me your hot take.
I think I'm consistent. I think I said some of the same things today that I said back then. Yeah, no, I think I'm a little more impressed than I thought I would be, like honestly, with myself. So I think it's good to kind of reflect on that because I was not sure what to expect at all. So so far so
Okay,
good.
so far so good. I just, and obviously I'm Jack's mom, but like the look on his face is just like absolute dread.
I was like, what is happening?
Oh, the show must go on, baby Jack. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Let's see what else you have to say.
Yes, but we all have imposter syndrome every day, all day, different seasons of life, depending on the things, And I told you that I met hard of hearing people for the first time. I didn't realize it, right? That I had never been in this industry 20 years and had never actually interacted with a deaf person. And as a ASL interpreter yourself, I know we talked a little bit about that a few months ago because there is something about everything in life. You think you have something mastered, and then you meet, you're faced
Yes.
with other thing, and you're like, okay, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yes, for sure. I had the privilege of having my national certification as an interpreter, and it's been wonderful. I've loved working in the community. And now, kind of switching gears, I'm still obviously working with language and language access, but it's just a little different, scenario. So I have dealt a lot with this myself, because coming from a situation where I was very comfortable, very familiar with what I was doing as an interpreter. I had done it for so long, it was just kind of almost, it just was very routine. So now I've switched, and this has definitely challenged me to go outside my comfort zones, but that's not always a bad thing. That's usually how we grow, and it's usually what I know I needed.
Yeah. So when you think about the concept of imposter syndrome, and I know in preparation for this, you did an image, you put an image up on social media, right? So like, tell us from your perspective what imposter syndrome means.
Yeah, that image that I used on LinkedIn, it really resonated with me because obviously we're both moms and we kind of wear our capes daily and we're handling and juggling so many different things, but we're not always giving ourselves that credit. We're not always giving ourselves that grace to not be perfect on things. And so that person who's looking in the mirror sees something totally different than what the real image is behind her. And I feel like that is imposter syndrome, to a T, where we're not always seeing things for what they really are, but instead we're comparing them to what we think they should be.
Yeah.
Ooh, so good. Okay. I should have asked you before we got started, like, how would you describe imposter syndrome today? But what do you think about what you said?
Yeah, I remember that image that I used of the woman looking in the mirror, and I think that that's still a large part how I would define it. I would probably add a little bit more to it, to where we might be allowing like outside factors or perhaps environmental factors to kind of affect how we view ourselves or how we view our work. Whether it's even well-intentioned, colleagues or family members or people, that sometimes don't always understand what we're doing or why we're doing it or why we want to, get to another level. And so sometimes I think we take on some of their views of us. And so I think I would just expand that a little bit to what I've, seen more of myself over the last few years.
I think that's so true. Like, um, I talk all the time about the things holding us back, and that often it's ourselves and a
Hmm.
combination of, like you just said, other people in our life whose ideas we allow to infiltrate us for better or for worse. And maybe we don't even realize they're saying these things, or maybe they aren't actually saying or thinking these things, but we think they must say and think these things. Oh, there goes Kristen again, iterating into something else. Oh, there goes this again, doing something else. And those thoughts, I believe, are what hold us back from
Hmm.
doing the next best thing that we feel called to do, because we're so worried about what everybody else thinks,
Hmm.
whereas nobody else's opinions pay our bills. And I
Amen.
like to say, if they did, now I had this epiphany right before we got on here. It's coaching one of my clients, and I was like, if they did pay my bills, somebody would be handing me the $200,000, the last 200K I need to get out of the financial chaos, and they're not.
Yeah.
And so until they do that, I'm going to continue to do what I need to do and show up how I need to show up, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. And that's overcoming my version of imposter syndrome, because I'm willing to say I'll be uncomfortable so that you
Hmm.
don't have to, or I'll be uncomfortable because it's what I need to do to survive or thrive, instead of letting those perceived or real opinions hold me back.
I think that is absolutely like the very definition of it. And in kind of analyzing it and recognizing, how you can overcome it also, because I think that that's very real. And particularly as women, I had an experience where, I was asked kind of like, well, where do you want to be in a few years? And, 3 to 5 years. And I was like, oh, I would love to be, this and this, and I would love to have this. And it was kind of like, oh, well, that's ambitious of you. And I'm like, well, kind of like, yeah, isn't that what I'm supposed to do is grow? Isn't that what I am supposed to do is reach for new things? And so I feel like sometimes people compare their journey to your journey, and it's like, my journey doesn't have to look like yours. And that doesn't mean your journey is any less valuable. It doesn't mean your journey is any less successful. But, our journeys are going to look different. And so I think also kind of giving ourselves that ability to say, it's okay that my journey is taking this path. And just because it doesn't look like yours doesn't mean I don't have the same kind of skills and qualities and ability to do this.
Right. Oh, so good. Okay, let's watch a few more minutes and see what else comes up. I just love these things. Okay, hang on.
For sure. And we are our own worst critics. And so it's really
Oops.
hard when we think, oh, I'm not the expert in sales. What gives me the right to be able to sell this service that actually I have been, as an ASL interpreter, I've been providing to the community for all my life. But now I'm to sell it. Like, what does that mean? I had the same imposter when I started working for myself. I'm a sales veteran. My parents are both salespeople. But all of a sudden, selling for yourself, you're like, well, hold on. Like, what do I do? And my mentor was like, you get out of your own way. You put one step in front of the other, and you simply start having conversations, right? And so sometimes imposter syndrome, overcoming imposter syndrome, I can talk about that too, is like, what are some strategies that have worked for you to help overcome imposter syndrome?
Yes, I've definitely needed to implement some strategies on this one. I think one thing that was incredibly helpful was having a mentor like you in the field. I think it's really honestly been life-changing, because it's like inside I have good ideas and I think I know what I should do, but it's having that confidence to follow through on that and to try it. Just try the idea, see if it works. Let me run this by you. Does this sound like this is logical? Does this sound like, something that could work? So I think it's really important to find someone that you can talk to. And it may not even necessarily be someone in the exact same line of work as you, but someone that you trust, someone that you feel like is going to get you when your kid is homesick and you've got to do a LinkedIn Live. Hey, we got to roll with it, right? You got to get the person who can get that.
No, but I love it. Like asking for help. So I talk about it in my book, Be a Better Sales Leader. I have a section on imposter syndrome, but then it's also kind of all throughout. Like the first pillar of the book is about asking for help and finding mentors, right? Yeah. We're so lucky that we got paired together in a mentor-mentee relationship who, oh, by the way, share the same birthday, we found out, right? Yeah, but I mean, you do have to continuously, even I would say, like somebody like myself who appears to have it all figured out, I obviously don't, right? So how am I continuously asking for help, finding more mentors? Sometimes I'm paying for those mentorships, because it comes to a point in our career that, well, the people that we really want to be mentored by, maybe they're too busy to give it to us for free. And it is important that, what's that?
They're in demand, makes sense.
Yeah. And then it's like, what other industry associations can somebody plug into to find help? What are the courses online where they can find help? Yeah. And then what are some of the other strategies, would you say, in addition to asking for help?
Yeah, that has definitely been huge. I am good about doing research. Like, okay, I need to learn more about HubSpot. There's tutorials, there's YouTube videos, there's lots of articles that have been written on different features. So, just familiarizing myself, like it's okay to take the time to go and learn what you need to know, so then you can be more effective and more efficient. And it's kind of like arming ourselves with those tools, like feeling like, okay, I need another tool in my tool bag here so I can get this job done. And we don't know everything. It's okay not to know everything. Yeah. But I think doing the research and being open and willing to learn, for me, that's been huge. Just like, it's okay to say, I need a definition of what that means. I'm not always familiar with all the acronyms and things. So just being like, okay, I'm going to be the one to ask. I've always been that way, kind of, because I think like, if I'm asking that question, there's a good chance someone else is probably asking that question. So
oh, I stopped it a little. Oh, so good, Leah. How does it feel watching yourself 2 years ago and like the journey that you've been on and where you are now?
I think I think I'm really proud of myself. I think that I'm doing what I wanted to do that I wasn't sure if I could do. And I think when you take those chances and you take those leaps and you especially like now, I was an account executive. Now I'm the BDM. That was even another kind of a little bit of a risk to say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and apply for this. I'm going to go ahead and try to take on additional, responsibilities and things. So I feel like watching that version, she didn't know what was coming, but she wanted to be a part of it. And so I think that's just the beauty of life and the beauty of our journeys, professional and personal. When we just are open to those opportunities, then a lot of times they're filled beyond what we could have even imagined for ourselves.
Oh, so true. I'm so proud of you and like really like We'll drop the link in the comments so that you and others can go and watch the rest of the episode. It's really good, especially if you know Leah right now, and even if you don't, to hear what we're saying, like had all this experience, was new to the industry, doing it from a sales perspective, and then grinded it out for the past 3 years and switched companies and took a risk and took another risk. Like
Mhm.
life is not without risk, and that
Very true.
often gets masked as this concept of imposter syndrome, and it really goes back to the fundamentals of
Mhm.
what we've talked about now and what we talked about 2 years ago. Like
Yep.
it's like putting one foot in front of the other and getting out of your own way.
Yeah. And I really love that about the newer book you wrote, the Say Yes and Figure It Out, because I feel like that really embodies a mindset, not just like it's not just a catchphrase. It's really about having that mindset of, let's take on the opportunity. Like, yes, I need to learn how to write RFPs. Yes, I need to learn how to do this, and especially I love that you work with a lot of individual business owners because they have to do all of that on their own. So I think that it can feel really daunting and overwhelming. So I love that, you've got like a framework laid out for people, whether they're an employee or whether they're their own business, where you adopt this mindset and it really does help. It really does bring you results. It really does open you up for more opportunity.
I love it. Thank you for saying that. And also, I'm so excited because I just partnered with my next client yesterday to
Woohoo.
help operationalize his business. And he's a one-man show in construction and real estate. And it's very exciting to help put the foundations in place, operationalize operations, operationalize sales, and then help him scale. And I think for a lot of us, it's like, how do I get started? Right.
Yes.
And the 4 step, the say yes and figure it out 4 step framework is
Mhm.
that decide, take a step, lean in and celebrate. And you said it at the beginning. One of my phrases that my ex-husband says is indecision is worse than the wrong decision. In other words, done is better than perfect. Like
Yep.
take a step, get it done, and go fix it later. Or as you're moving through it, figure out
Mhm.
that that wasn't the right thing anyway. So aren't we glad we didn't spend thousands of man hours trying to figure this one thing out? We figured out that it wasn't right by moving our way through it, or we figured out that it was right by moving our way through it, and now we have time, energy, money, resources to make it look better.
Mhm. I love that. That reminds me, I don't remember the exact wording, but I'm pretty sure it was something to do with Thomas Edison and the light bulb, and where, he tried thousands of times before it really, became feasible and was reliable, and was like, well, I figured out all the ways not to make a light bulb. And I think that we kind of have to think that way too. Like, okay, so we start this, I've done that too. Like, okay, that email is not really getting me a response. It doesn't mean I failed. It means I've learned what not to do. I've learned that I need to change something. And so I try to look at it that way, like when I'm doing outreach and I'm doing those cold calls or trying to build, business up, where it's like, okay, it's not failure. It's maybe I learned what wasn't the demand for people right now. Maybe I learned what people aren't caring about. So then you kind of knock all that out and you're like, well, then this is left. So I've got to go after these things here because that's obviously, you know, what's next for me to try.
I love it. Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, well, we can't wait to follow your journey over the next 2 and 20 years and beyond. See how you continue to evolve as a human and as a salesperson, and where your passions take you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to have you along the way. So it's always an honor. It's been a pleasure, of course, to see you and to review us. I'm pretty impressed. Despite everything that was happening, we kept it going. We were doing great.
I know. The whole episode's really great. So definitely check it out. Leave a rating on the show, comment on the show, who's ever watching, and that would help me. If you're interested in being a guest on the Kristen Gutierrez podcast, I would love to have you. And Leah, of course, I would love to have you back so we can
Anytime.
message me with your next topic idea and we will.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Kristen.
you so much. See you soon.